I don't like that. That was creepy. What's up, guys? Hey, guys. YouTube? All right, we got another one here. It's T10 Paranormal. 5 scary ghost videos that you shouldn't watch alone. We watched this live on Twitch TV/Burning Clock Studios. And yeah, if you wouldn't mind, possibly a sub, maybe a like. It's up to you. I greatly appreciate it. Either way, let's do it. Let's go. 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 All right, we got T10 Paranormal. 5 scary ghost videos that you shouldn't watch alone. Let's check this one out. I'm excited. Let's see. I already know who this is. Twin Paranormal. They have a big YouTube channel. So I've seen videos from them before, but I don't know if I've necessarily seen this exact video.
The first clip is taken from one of Twin Paranormal's investigations. They have traveled to Astoria, which is a small town located on the coast of Oregon, USA. Fans of the paranormal have most likely heard about this town, as their underground tunnel system are allegedly very haunted. Ryan and River, along with their team members Wyatt and Skylar, venture out to the town of Astoria, where one can find an old store named Gully's Butcher Shop. This is where they will be performing their paranormal investigation to determine if the underground tunnel system is haunted and thereby putting the rumors to the test.
Okay, let's do it. Sorry, I remember watching these ghost catching shows as a kid. Good times. Just have a cameraman doesn't die. Yeah, I'll take a look at it. Serbian Dancing Woman. I know I watch this stuff forever, and like I watch this stuff constantly, and now I've just been starting to do it on streams now too, because I'm doing it anyway, so I might as well do it on stream. It's fun. I also like talking about it. It's fun when people have the same like skepticism, yet they believe in it, but they're very skeptic too. It's fun like looking at that stuff and see what other people think about it.
I'd like to introduce all
2 for
4
1.
of us.
Yeah.
You had already seen us walking all through the halls and through each one of these rooms. My name is Ryan. The guy standing in front of me, his name is River. The guy standing to the right of River, his name is Wyatt. I'm pointing right at him. And the guy standing right next to Wyatt, his name is Skylar. That's our little brother. This is my twin River, and Wyatt is our best friend.
Ooh. I like how he gave the ghost like a full breakdown of his entire life.
To communicate with whoever is here and possibly feels comfortable enough to come and speak with us. We mean nothing but respect towards you, and we would just like to have a good conversation, get your story, if that would be okay. We have these objects. You've probably seen them before, but
he's very polite.
Give us the ability to notice and see that you are here, and also give us the ability to hear your voice.
After introducing
very
the team
polite
to any spirits that might have been present at the moment, some footsteps can be heard from the floor above.
Ooh.
The stores that are above them are supposedly closed since it's after midnight. Ryan proceeds to explain to the spirits what the motion sensor is and how they can use it to communicate with them.
The REM pod or whatever.
Happens.
If you walk up to this antenna, this metal rod, this will make noise and the lights will go ahead and light up for us. That'll let us know that you are standing close to us, and maybe I can go ahead and ask you a couple of questions. We are to the understanding that your son is still alive, and sometimes he does come here to visit, and he talks to Diana. Maybe there's something you'd like us to tell him for you. If you can please walk up to that object and light it up, that would be great. Thank you so much, Abigail. Is there something you'd like to say to us so that we can relay that message to your son?
Those things, if you guys aren't aware, they're called like usually REM pods, they call them. And most like ghost adventures, or at least like not ghost adventurers, I don't know, whatever you want to call them, ghost hunter people, nowadays most of them use those. Like you buy that, and most people use that nowadays, because that's easily one of the best like tools out there. Like that's like a common thing that most people are using now. It's basically like that antenna that goes up. If you get in like the vicinity of it, like if you physically or energy goes around that vicinity, you have to like touch that thing to make it go off like that. You know what I mean? You can test it, and you can, do all these things, and you let it sit there, and all of a sudden it'll start happening. and then you could start asking questions like, hey, if you're here, do me a favor and set that off. And then you can count down, 3, 2, 1, and then see if it goes off. Like that, they do a lot of stuff like that to try to I guess, communicate. And a lot of people get reactions like that where they'll tell it to set these things off on like key on command, and they'll do it. It's awesome. Like, now granted, you're not physically seeing an apparition with your eyes or anything like that, but sometimes, when you could do those kind of things, it's pretty wild. Like that's one of the coolest tools that they have. So a lot of times that stuff happens. You'll see a lot of people will be like, this is going off way too much, and they'll go over and try to recalibrate it, things like that. You know what I mean? And make sure they're like, let's just make sure this isn't faulty and make sure nothing's is weird or whatever. But it's super cool. I believe it's real. I just want the spirits away from me. Fair enough. No, I get it. Try it on stream at a haunted place, dude. I wish if I had the ability to bring stuff with me to record and do all that, I totally would. Absolutely. I don't know cameras or any of that kind of shit.
We have this object that Wyatt is holding. If you walk up to his hand and use your energy, whatever you can manifest, you can use some of the energy out of our devices, and we've noticed that you have already drained, or somebody here has already drained a couple of those batteries to use some energy. Did that just go off?
Yeah, it went up to red.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did. I watched it.
Again.
It's going.
That just went to red. That just went to red.
Are you filming it?
That went all the way to red.
Yes.
Can you spike this one as well? This one in my hand? Please?
That's interesting too.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa. Thank you. Thank you, Abigail, if this is you.
Both the motion sensor and the EMF meter seem to indicate that there are some spirits present, as they both get triggered simultaneously. But the most shocking evidence is yet to come, as one of the cameras is able to capture a horrifying apparition.
Set it over here in this walkway if you can come over to us and use your energy. Give us a sign.
See, this is the kind of stuff that people catch, and I'm used to seeing people catch, and I'm always like, all right, cool, this is awesome, And when you see people, that's why you can tell sometimes when people are faking videos for clout on the internet or for whatever, because they overdo it. You know what I mean? They so many people overdo videos, and we actually saw quite a bit of them. I say, like, streaming and whatnot. But I've watched quite a few that I'm just like, no way, no, absolutely no way. Like, there's just a lot of BS, I think. But this is like legit stuff. I'm used to seeing this kind of stuff, and I like it.
And that you are here with that.
I don't like that. That was creepy.
Give us a sign that you are here with that.
Throughout the investigation, the team hears many things throughout the basement area that can indicate some paranormal presence among them. However, what one of their static cameras captured ends up giving most of the viewers the creeps. One can clearly see something resembling a person in the background walking past from right to left. It can be hard to make out at first, but as you zoom in, one can clearly see that something is moving in the background. None of the team members see the apparition, but seem to hear the movement, or at least some sort of sound.
The only thing that's weird, though, is that we know there's 4 of them there, and there's only one that's able to be seen at this moment. And I'm not saying that it's one of the other people that did it, but we don't know because we can't keep track of where the other people are that are on the team at the moment. They're not in the scene.
They're left with no explanation to what this could have been, and both them and the viewers are convinced that it definitely is something paranormal. So is this a ghost caught on camera? Or is there another way of explaining this?
It's tough to say because I don't know where the other 3 people are. Well, the one's holding the camera, but where's the other 2 people?
Uploaded to the Facebook group Paranormal, Weird, Creepy and the Strange, and shared by a woman named Danielle. She explains that her neighbor's mother had just passed away a couple of days ago. The neighbor woke up one morning to a notification on his phone saying something or someone had moved outside of his front door in the middle of the night. When he checked the footage, he couldn't believe what he was seeing. Transparent ghostly figure can be seen slowly floating by the front door.
What?
It's hard to tell what this thing really could be, and the shape of the thing looks less like a human and more like a transparent blanket floating. But considering his mother just recently passed away, one might wonder if this could actually be the ghost of her. Maybe she hasn't been able to find peace and will end up haunting the house. But what do you think of this one?
I think that before you see it, I think that you could already, like, look at this, like the way this image of the light, like the reflection of the light, this halo is already weird.
By the front door.
And it doesn't change from the exact color or the exact kind of texture of the halo of this light. And that's what I'm kind of like editing. I don't know, but it's odd that it's the exact same color and texture kind of as this halo around this light. You know what I mean? That I have a hard time like.
And the shape of the thing looks less like a human and more like a transparent blanket floating. But considering his mother just recently passed away, one might wonder if this could actually be the ghost of her. Maybe she hasn't been able to find peace and will end up haunting the house.
I don't know how I feel about that. I'm like kind of
this one.
I'm kind of whatever on that one.
Is it just the malfunctioning of the door camera, or could it actually be the spirit of the mother?
What's with your eye? But I mean, there's no reason for that to occur around the halo of a light. But it's just weird. I don't know.
She explains that she has had a tapo cam recording her bedroom while she's asleep. What she captures one night will surely give you the creeps.
Wait, is that a kid? 2 cats? 3 cats? Got a kid and 3 cats on that bed?
Seems to be a somewhat
2 cats?
transparent hand.
That's her foot.
Reaching for Kimberly while
Wait, what?
she's fast asleep. The hand seems to have disturbed her sleep as she starts to move shortly after, and we can see her eyes open for a moment. But let's slow down the footage. The hand is extremely fast and might explain why the hand looks so transparent. It's hard to tell if this is just an elaborate hoax or if it's real. But as you might already know, I dig deeper than this. Another clip from Kimberly, we can see something else that could back up her claims of her home being haunted.
What? You have an arrow that way, and then
some kind of shadow can be seen strafing past the bed while nobody else was.
The shadow? What's the arrow up there?
Clips prove that something paranormal is going on inside this house. You decide.
Shadow's weird. Let me see that hand, though.
It seems to be a somewhat.
Ooh.
It seems to be a. It seems to be.
No. Why is the time skip?
It seems.
Look at the time. If this is when they're at. All right, so this is January 3rd, right? 13, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24.
It seems.
When that hand came, why did this go back to 17? You see that? Why is that a thing? How could that happen? How could if this is supposed to be the time and the date of the camera that's recording this, then how could that happen?
It seems to be a somewhat transparent hand can be seen reaching for Kimberly while she's fast asleep. The hand seems to have disturbed her sleep as she starts to move shortly after, and we can see her eyes open for a moment. But let's slow down the footage.
Dude, I don't know what to say, but I just know that that's weird. Like, why would that be a thing? That should not be a thing. If a hand came in, why would this time change? And why, not just why would the time change, but how come
fast and might after, and
how come it's
fast asleep?
Go back to 3-7. Hold on. How come it's 317? Wait, 318. 319.
While she's
Hold on.
asleep, what she captures one night will surely give you the creeps.
Oh, okay, there it was. So it does happen. Okay, hold on.
Captures one night will surely give you the creeps.
Okay, so this video started
It seems to be a
as it happens. Okay, I got confused. I thought it was building up to it happening and then being screwed up. But for whatever reason, the video literally starts the moment that it's happening. So you don't see a second prior to the hand. It's happening in the exact moment that this video is starting, apparently. Got it. Okay.
going Ghost
I don't know. It's weird, but it's...
Ghost Tech Paranormal.
I don't like that. So what I don't like, the only thing I don't like about it is that it doesn't have... Why is this video, if this video is set to recording you, right? Why don't you have, like, why don't this family or whatever, why don't they have footage from 13, 3, 13, and 14 seconds, 10 seconds, 9 seconds, starting there. So you give us a second. Okay, here's, a couple seconds before it happens. And then at 17, here it comes. You know what I mean? No, so that's what's the video itself. That's what I understand is like the video, it skips ahead an hour. The video, like it starts at the moment that the hand is there. Why is there nothing prior to the hand being there? That's what I understand. Like, this is like the first clip of the video.
Captures one night will surely
2:13, 39. Yeah, boom. Up to 3:17. Yeah, it was 2:13 and now it's 3:13, 17. But is that telling me that this camera is this a motion sensing camera? Is that what it is? That because other than that, you would deleted an hour. Like you've removed an hour from the video. If an hour was removed from the video, then why don't you show us a few seconds prior to this happening? If it's motion sensing, then I get it, I guess. But it's still odd. I don't know. Because maybe it's motion sensing because she's moving right here. So maybe that's why we can see why the camera's on.
She explains that she has had a tapo cam recording her bedroom.
But she's moving, so the camera's on, I guess.
What she captures one night will surely give you the creeps.
So maybe the camera, all right, so maybe it is motion sensing, the camera turns off and then whatever. I don't know, man. Can't be motion.
What seems to be a somewhat transparent hand can be seen reaching.
Other things on the bed have moved. Yeah, that's a good point. It can't be motion sensing because you're right. Because if this was, all right, so here's the first scene that let's pretend it's motion sensing, right? So at the 2 a.m. shot, let's pretend it's a motion sensing. And here it is, motion sensed. We have Kitty here, right? And you have Kitty here, right? And you have Febreze there.
Just one night will surely give you the
right?
creeps.
Go to 3 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock. The Febreze is gone and the cats have moved. So if the cat, you're right. If the cats have moved, the Febreze clearly got moved. Like there's someone moved that. The pillow moved. Something happened. As the kid has moved as well. So all of that footage, if it's motion sensing, would have been picked up. So yeah, I don't know. So now I'm starting to feel less about this video because of that, honestly. I know we're kind of digging into it real hard here, but I'm not really buying this video because of that. Because I don't believe it's motion sensing. Unless it's motion sensing and they deleted that clip. But yeah. If it's not motion sensing, then there's no reason why we don't have, seconds before the hand coming up. There's no reason for it.
Ghost Tech Paranormal find themselves in the now abandoned Petworth Chapel. The chapel was built in 1865 by Lord
What's change
Lincoln.
challenge? Yeah.
At some point, the chapel was also used as the local morgue. The team consists of Jeff, the lead investigator, Phil, tech manager, and Mark, who is also an investigator. They visited the chapel in December of 2020. They decided on the location after reading up on the history of the chapel and and also after hearing rumors of the building being haunted. The paranormal evidence they captured during their visit was shocking, even for them.
That's it.
So here we are at Petworth Chapel, and we spent some time setting up our equipment. We've got a static cam inside the small chapel, another static cam there, and we've got one right down next to the mass grave of the school children. So what's actually happened is, whilst we were setting up the equipment, from just standing just here, there was a man's voice. Now, the voice seemed to come from maybe just over in that area there, and it was really close. It was a deep man's voice, and it was something along the lines of, what are you doing here? Now at the time Phil and Mark were inside there, but they heard it as well. They actually thought...
This guy's very pleasant, by the way. I don't think he would be messing around. He seems very kind and very pleasant. Like, I'd go for breakfast with this guy. Yeah, or, you know, he'd be a good person to talk to, I think.
it was me talking.
Good
But I was
conversation.
actually still standing there. I hadn't even left to put the static cam up. And we heard this voice 3 times. So I'm taking it may have been the caretaker. There was a sexton here that was a caretaker that looked after the grounds and the chapel.
Sexton? What's
so
that?
Possibly it was the spirit of him asking us what we're doing here. But as I say, we all heard that.
Before the guys even enter the chapel, a man's voice can be heard asking them, why are they here? Unfortunately, the static camera outside the chapel wasn't recording it at the time, and this was never captured on film. But this doesn't mean our paranormal adventure ends here, as they did manage to capture something downright chilling later that night.
Okay.
We now decide to take some full spectrum pictures to capture any anomalies. Come and stand in the doorway so I can take your picture, please.
He's so nice. Try to pause. All I can think about is, I don't know, does anybody ever watch Ghost Adventures with Zach Baggins? All I can think about when people are nice, or is I can think about Zach when he's like doing this stuff and he's just like, there's any ghosts here, come over here and punch me in the face. And he's just the complete opposite of these people. And it's so funny to me. If anybody's here, fight me. He's so good.
Okay, Phil, if you point your camera down to the floor, let's take a picture of that.
Okay. What?
That was strange. That one was all blurred.
Take it again?
Point your camera to the floor, Phil. A bit further.
Whoa.
Don't move, Phil. Something's not right.
Jeff is able to capture something that looks like a dark shadow figure forming into what appears to be the shape of a person. In the first photograph, we can see the shadow figure emerging from the ground, and in the second photograph, it seems to be in an upraised position.
That's pretty
Many
cool.
in the paranormal field would call this hitting the jackpot, as capturing an almost full body apparition on camera is more rare than what you might think. It's not obvious what this is, but the paranormal investigators of
It's
Ghost
paranormal.
Paranormal are
I think that's
convinced
pretty
it could be
cool.
one of the former caretakers at the chapel that is rumored to be haunting the place.
And-
Jeff, Phil and Mark have recorded some really interesting videos during their career. So if you're interested in watching more of them, then be sure to check out their channel along with the other people that are featured in this video. Following the
They seem pretty like the people themselves. They're very respectful. They seem very much like no bullshit. I think that was actually that was a good photo. I think that was legitimately, they may have got something on photo there.
paranormal investigators over at the YouTube channel
That was pretty cool.
Resonance Paranormal. We are at Beverly Hills Sanatorium located in Louisville, Kentucky. The sanatorium was opened in 1910 and originally served
is
as
very
a
famous.
two-story hospital to accommodate tuberculosis patients. In the early 1900s, the county was ravaged by an outbreak of tuberculosis. This prompted the construction of a new hospital, but that ended up being closed down in 1961 due to an antibiotic drug that lowered the need for such a hospital. There were plans of making the building into a hotel, but the sanatorium has been left abandoned since 1961. The paranormal investigators have joined a tour of the sanatorium and carry out an investigation at the same time. They capture something unexplained on camera.
It's gonna happen tonight. You know how paranormal stuff is. It's not like we can flip a switch and it happens, but sometimes I can walk through this place and it's like a big old empty building, and then it's like someone flips a switch all of a sudden, and it's a big old creepy building.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever been frightened?
I got frightened about 3 months ago when
What
I
was
was
that?
doing a sweep at 4 a.m. to make sure the building was clear, make sure everyone was out.
Was there a thing behind him?
Some kind of shadow figure can be spotted in the doorway in the background. The shadow figure is only visible for a
I saw
brief
that.
moment,
Yeah.
but we see enough to clearly see the shape of it. At first, you might think that this could have been confused with just a normal person
Could have
being
been.
in the doorway. However, take a look at where the person recording this video explains that everyone was accounted for with proof.
Here's the clip again at half speed. Just prior to this, I'm in the back of the room, and as I walk towards the front of the room, I'm able to document the presence of all of our team members and our tour guide in this space, with the exception of one investigator, Phil, who's down the hallway taking some photographs. Several minutes after the shadow figure is filmed, Phil returns to the room. And as you can see him in this doorway, you can clearly see light and dark values that define who he is. Even
Okay, so that guy's, so all right. This is really, really tough because exactly where I paused this at right now, we know that that's the other guy that's taking photos. His shape right now, his exact shape, color on the camera, everything is identical to what was seen. So that's where, you know, it doesn't stand out. It doesn't look different. It looks exactly like the thing.
Even as he steps back into the door frame here, we
it
still
looks...
see those light and dark values, and we can tell that we're looking at a person.
I disagree completely. I think that genuinely looked like the image. 100%.
We still see those light and dark values, and we can tell that we're looking at a person.
Give me the thing.
Just prior to this, I'm in the back.
Yep. Give me the thing one more time. Okay. Show me the guy.
Tour guide in this space. Minutes after the shadow figure is filmed, Phil returns to the room. And as you can see him in this doorway, you can clearly see light and dark values that define who he is.
No. Look
Even
at him
as
move.
he steps back into the door.
Look at the way he stepped into the doorway. 100%. I'm not saying that it's not a ghost. Maybe it is. I have no idea. But it literally looks like the same thing. It could have been mistaken person.
Even as he steps back into the door frame here, we still see those light and dark values, and we can tell that we're looking at a person.
The other one looked like a person too.
Here's a side-by-side comparison.
Yes.
On the left-hand side, you see the shadow figure, and on the right, our investigator, Phil.
No.
And on the top frames, I've done nothing to lighten these up, but you can clearly see those light and dark values. You can clearly see that we're looking at Phil here. You can see his pants, his shirt, which turns up white in the infrared light. You can see the straps from his backpack, and you can see his camera and the hat that he's wearing on his head. This detail does not exist on the figure on the left. On the bottom, I've lightened it up substantially so you can see this difference even clearer. No matter how much I brighten up the still frames or the video, I'm unable to bring out any detail in the figure on the left other than a black shape. In addition, the body type here is totally different. The figure on the left appears to be very slender, while Phil takes up more space in the doorway. And if you use the shape on the wall in the background as a point of reference, you can see that the height of the two figures is different as well. Here's where the top of Phil's head is, And here's the
Nah,
top
all
of
right.
the figure on the left. Based on this comparison, you can see that Phil is almost a full head taller than the figure on the left.
Right, except for the fact that if the camera moves a tiny bit, you freeze frame. If the camera moves a tiny bit like this, it's going to change the perspective of how tall the image is, even the tiniest bit. And these cameras are obviously they're moving. You know what I mean? So you catch the frame where it's at this point, it's going to look this tall. You catch a frame where you go like this a little bit more, it's a different height. I don't know. And I get what they're doing, and maybe it is real, 100%. Maybe it is real. But I'm just saying that I wouldn't even broke it down. It looked like somebody, like a normal person. Like, I don't know. To me, it did anyway.
That Phil is almost a full head taller than the figure on the left.
Aside
from general proximity,
I don't think that's
there's
a good
absolutely
breakdown,
no
though.
similarity between the figure on the left and our investigator Phil. This leaves us with no doubt in our minds that the figure on
He's also using the guy in front as the point of reference when he's moved between shots. Yeah, exactly. Like, you can't... I understand that they can't line up the exact same shot because they don't have it. Like, it doesn't exist. But to try to line it up and then try to prove or disprove something is hard to do because you can't one for one line this up. It's not going to happen. Right, you're using that guy as a point of reference. He's moved between the shots. We don't know the angle of the camera. Like, you're trying to get this height. Who knows? Like, I don't know. I think that they're going too far into proving that it's somebody else. But I guess the only other thing that would make me think it could be more real is this. They said in the beginning, and they took the time right here. They took the time to say, here's a video footage of the cameraman walking in. Everybody's accounted for. They're in the room. And then he said, except for our one guy who's down the hall taking pictures. Okay. So based on that, could it have been that guy that stepped in? Maybe. The only thing that's credibly the only thing that I would say that would mean that they're not faking it is at that point they didn't have to include that information. They couldn't have said anything. They could have just showed everybody had been like, everybody's accounted for, and they didn't have to say they had a guy down the hall taking pictures. If they wouldn't have done that and they would have said everybody's in the room, then 100% everybody watching this based on that information would be like, holy shit, you caught a shadow person. Being that they said that is actually good for them though too. Because them saying that when they didn't have to means that maybe they are trying to prove that it wasn't this person, that they caught a shadow figure. They didn't have to say that. I don't know.
the left
It's
and the
a
figure
little
on the right
tough.
are not
I don't
the
know.
same. With everybody in the building accounted for, including our tour guide, we're left with absolutely no explanation for the figure on the left.
It's a little tough.
So did the paranormal investigators over at Resonance Paranormal capture evidence of a shadow figure entity haunting the sanatorium back in 2012? I'll let you be the judge of this one, as always. Now, if you want more clips, then be sure to check out some of these videos. I hope you like this.
I mean, it absolutely could have just been the guy though that stepped in, that like that person on their team. He could have just stepped in and was like, oh shit, and moved back really quick. And then didn't even realize what he did and never said anything about it. I
5
don't know.
scary ghost videos caught on camera.
I don't know.
Be
That's
sure to
tough.
like and
It's tough.
subscribe for more content in the future. here
I
at
liked it, though.
T10 Paranormal.
That was another good video. That was a good video. Where I thought that some of the stuff we saw there was like, that was pretty freaking good. All right, we're back. That was T10 Paranormal's 5 scary ghost videos that you shouldn't watch alone. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I very much did. If you guys wouldn't mind, possibly a like, possibly a sub, I'd very much appreciate it. Either way, hope you guys have a good one. Have a good night. Have a good day. Have a good afternoon. Have a good everything. And I'll see you for the next one. See you later.